Here we go. I wanted to change up the format this week and do a video for you instead of just writing a bunch of words in your email. What I want to talk about is routines and habits. I've been thinking so much about this lately. I've been reading this book, The Power of Habit, but I was actually thinking about habits and routines before I read the book. I actually did a post about it a few weeks ago. I might go back and change it a little, but this is just for our mailing list. So this book, The Power of Habit, has really given me a lot of insight into ADHD. I'm assuming that most people on this list are ADHD. If you're not, maybe this will give you some insight into family members or friends that are ADHD. I will put a link to this at the end. So this is the deal about habits and what I've learned in this book. There is something called a habit loop. It involves a cue, a routine, and a reward. And yes, I'm looking at my notes because I can't remember anything, bad short-term memory and all. This is the deal though. We have ADHD, which means the reward centers of our brain are sometimes lacking stimulation. And so we need a big hit of dopamine, of something to be an incentive for us. And sometimes we actually go seeking, dopamine seeking. I mean, believe me, if I could just pound chocolate all day and be really happy, I mean, it would be fabulous, but I have to find other ways to reward myself that are less detrimental to my health. And so do you. If you think about it, smokers sort of have a reward. They see a pack of cigarettes and then they have a craving for a cigarette, and then they get their hit of nicotine, and that's their reward. So I'm coming to understand that cravings are really, really important. They're important for us, but they're important for habits in general. So I actually marked the page here. This is the deal. Cravings are what drive habits. If you figure out how to spark a craving, it makes creating a new habit easier. So I need to figure out, right now I'm working on my paper, I need to figure out how to change the routine in the middle, because this is the general rule. You can keep your cue and your reward the same. It's the routine in the center of the habit loop that has to change. And if you can change that routine, that's how you change habits, and that's how you swap out bad habits for good habits. So for me, I need to find a way to cue myself to sort through the mail every day instead of just throwing it on the counter. And then my reward, that's the thing, I need to find a really good reward. Because right now the reward that I get out of just throwing the mail on the counter is that I don't have to think about it. I mean, and in a lot of ways, just not having to deal with it is a reward. So I need to find a way to make changing that routine in the middle of the habit loop more rewarding for me. And I need to get a hit of dopamine. Maybe I should let myself eat chocolate after I sort the mail or something like that. So this is the thing. What I'm trying to figure out is, for us, what constitutes a reward. If we can figure out what you're craving, if you can figure out what you're craving, then perhaps it'll be easier to swap out some of those negative habits. So I would love it if you could check out the post I have coming up on Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday the 21st. I have a post coming out. I started to think about ways to cue myself and change my routine, and then now I'm working on the reward part. But it's a whole post about visual triggers and how, for some people like me, I'm very visual. A visual will actually remind me of a routine that I need to do. So it'll be coming out on the 21st, and I think it's called Powerful Visual Triggers That Get Results or something like that. I can't even remember what I named it. Anyway. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think you're craving and what kind of habit loops, the cue, the routine, and the reward, what kind of habit loops you're having trouble with in your life. And then maybe in the private group and even in the big group, we can brainstorm a little bit about how to get better rewards for ourselves and how to swap out the bad habits with the good. I will put the link up for this book. It's really sciencey, so if you don't like the sciencey stuff, you might not like it. But I would be glad to field questions about this too. I should probably do a whole video book review on this. I hope this was semi-enlightening or interesting for you. I apologize if it wasn't. Have a fabulous Sunday.